The ocean is a vast and mysterious place, but it's absolutely vital for life on Earth. But have you ever wondered what keeps it all running? What's making this invisible network beneath the waves function each and every single day? It's the foundation of life as we know it, and it shapes your very existence and your future. Today I'm going to take you on a journey on this intricate web of life, a stunning network and system that's moving so efficiently, it's helping keep our planet alive today. We're going to explore how energy moves beneath the waves, and we're also going to explore why every single link or piece in this puzzle is essential for the next piece. And we're also going to explore how we are inevitably pulling at this thread of this delicate balance. But here's why you need to stick around. The food web is in danger. And whether you believe it or not, the invisible things that are happening beneath the waves affects all of us. From the tiniest organism in the sea to some of the largest apex predators in the world. The survival of this system and those creatures are directly tied to our own survival. By the end of this video, I promise you'll understand the connection and just why it is so important to you and I that this system stays in place and survives. So let's think of the ocean food web like nature's orchestra. Now, in an orchestra, you have a bunch of members all playing different instruments, different sounds, shapes, different notes, all doing something different. Now, if there was no conductor or someone keeping everyone in line, telling them what to play and when, it would just sound like some of the worst noises you probably ever heard. Because of this conductor and keeping everyone in line, when they do finally come together, it sounds like a beautiful symphony. So let's think about the ocean and the food web in the same exact way. The only thing with the ocean is that it comes down to energy transfer and how anything and everything is interconnected to allow for an efficient energy transfer throughout the entire food chain. So just to give you a quick brief overview, just so you understand generally what it looks like. It starts with producers. These are things like phytoplankton. These little guys and plants use sunlight for energy. Next comes the consumers. These are the omnivores, herbivores, and carnivores. Things at this level might be considered smaller fish like anchovies or sardines. And then at the top of the web, we have the apex predators. These are things like the orcas and the sharks that we all know and have seen before. But let's not forget about the little guys. We have things like bacteria that act as decomposers, and they actually play a huge role as well. So let's start at the base of this chain or web. Like I mentioned, we have the producers. Now, I'm not talking about your music makers or record labels. I'm talking about tiny powerhouse organisms that are known as phytoplankton. Now, these tiny soldiers go to work every single day, tirelessly, day in and day out, and they are directly responsible for producing over 50% of the world's oxygen. That's right, these tiny microscopic organisms are responsible for the oxygen that you and I breathe each and every single day. Now, not only do they produce oxygen, but they are a food source for something else. The guys that eat the phytoplankton are the zooplankton. These are animals like krill and copepods. Now, these little guys, I want you to think of them as a bridge. They are the bridge that connects the microscopic world to the much larger systems and larger organisms within the ocean. So next up, we have the consumers. And I'm not talking about us shopping online on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. I'm talking about fish like the sardines and anchovies. They love to feast on zooplankton. And while they are growing their size and their population and in health, which is what we hope, they become perfect candidates to feed the next layer of this system. This next layer is like the medium size, if you will. These are things like tuna and seabirds. They feast on the sardines and anchovies, thus continuing the cycle of this food web. Each creature plays its part within this energy transfer web, and this is why it's able to run so efficiently. Everything serves a purpose. For example, if sardine populations were to drop drastically, seabirds would struggle to find food, thus causing an imbalance within that food chain. Now, finally, at the top of it all are the big dogs, the heavy hitters, the apex predators that we've all seen in the movies, that we've all seen on Discovery Channel. The sharks, the orcas, the large, dominating creatures of the sea. What they do is essentially they act like the police, keeping everyone in line. They don't allow any one species to over-dominate and take over the entire web. Just like with scarcity within a species affecting the food web, overpopulating a food web can equally be as damaging. Now, on a little bit of a sadder note, these animals do die, unfortunately. As much as I would love to see an ocean jam-packed with as much life as possible, it is a necessary part of life. But they don't just sit there floating around when they die. This is where the decomposers come in. Things like bacteria or the scavengers of the sea, like the crabs. They help break down this waste from these creatures that have passed, and thus they release nutrients back into the water, which starts this recycling process. So you see, everything has its purpose and nothing is wasted. When they start this recycling process, they then help to feed the initial producers like the phytoplankton that we talked about earlier. So it just cycles, it keeps going. But here's the catch. Us humans, we suck. And we are affecting this food web greatly and drastically. We are actively disrupting the balance each day. Overfishing, destruction of habitat, and pollution that's coming from us is directly affecting this intricate web, this intricate symphony coming from the orchestra that is the ocean's food web. Because of us, everything from the producers to the apex predators are affected in some way. Think about it. Even the tiny phytoplankton. Remember those powerhouse organisms that give you the oxygen that you're supposed to breathe every day? The oxygen that you need to survive every day? They're affected directly by climate change and pollution. Warming waters and acidification are directly harming populations of phytoplankton all around the world. Think about it this way with pollution as the example. The more we dump, the dirtier it is. The harder it is for these creatures to breathe in naturally. They won't be able to as efficiently produce oxygen, which everything within that same web relies on. And then if we take it a step further, that we rely on. Now, thankfully, there are plenty of ways that you and I and so many others should help out. I say should because not enough of us are. First up, supporting sustainable seafood practices. If you're going to eat seafood, make sure it's coming from the right places and part of something that's not being overfished or directly damaging a population or species within this food web. Remember, that's where an imbalance starts. It doesn't mean that's where it ends. Fighting climate change every single day, reducing energy consumption, reducing your plastic use and your pollution, right? These are all great tips, but they're just scratching the surface on the things that we can actually do to make a difference. Remember, words are great, and words are what people hear, but actions speak louder than words, and actions are what people see. It's not just an invisible energy transfer happening under the waves. It's not just something that we can ignore and act like it doesn't exist. It is directly related to us and our survival. So it's something we all need to acknowledge and be aware of. It really shows you how everything in our world is interconnected in some way. So the next time you're by the ocean, the next time you're in the ocean, just think about all the processes that are happening around you and think, is there anything I can do to help? Remember, protecting our oceans isn't just about saving the creatures that live within it or the ocean itself. It's about saving ourselves. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive. Comment down below what your favorite marine creature is. And remember, stay curious, and together we can make a difference, one swell at a time.